I used to be on the board of InterSwitch in 2004, and I know that InterSwitch was that time a loss-making business that was struggling to even meet up with expenses. But today, InterSwitch is a company that is worth, God knows, 40, 50 billion naira. It's doing very well because Nigeria has transited, successfully into almost a cashless society. When the Central Bank of Nigeria introduced the cashless policy, I mean, they got a lot of flanks in terms of, oh, this is not going to work. But today, Nigeria is, essentially a cashless society. Now, banks that have moved and positioned themselves, very well to be able to play, in this area in terms of, electronic payments, in terms of, ATMs, in terms of mobile banking, have become winners in this area. So for me, those are clear indicators.
In my view, it's first of all starting from business strategy. Really, what does your business do? Do you have an understanding of your value chain? Where does your business create the most value? Because that's where you want to support that business most with technology. And then as you progress and as you mature, you want to automate as many of your processes as possible. So that understanding is really critical. And so when people go into the adoption of technology or implementation of technology solutions without an understanding of how it adds value to their business, they will run into trouble. Beyond that, you obviously have to select the right type of technologies. You have to implement them effectively. You have to have effective skills, both technology and project management skills, to see it through. So I would say that those are probably the key factors that will ensure that you don't lose. I mean, a lot of people have spent money on technology. Some of them are better, some of them are not better. Indeed, in this day and age, I sort of assume that the technology will work. So it's not really the technology, it's how you go about it. Are you supporting your business in the right place with technology? So for example, I mean, is it R&D, is it distribution, is it manufacturing? Where really does your business add the most value? And then you move that argument forward to say, if it's in this area, what are the best types of systems that I can use? So most people today, most of the large industries have automated fully their core transaction processing systems, if we can say, put it that way, and then you extend it to your payment systems, and then you extend it to your support systems, and you want to make sure that it's integrated so that you don't sort of have islands of technology, because again, that can create a lot of incompatibility problems, which can just be a nightmare. So having that clear plan of this technology development, and I think one of the advantages we have in Nigeria clearly is because we're starting a bit late, we don't have the challenges of legacy technology, which the developed countries are sort of fighting with now. Yes.
I think it's in the insurance sector, it's been absolutely critical to understand the value chain and to understand, who is taking what, from the value chain. There was a period, 11, 12 years ago in this industry where, a certain, distribution channel, the broken distribution channel probably, took, 80, 90% of the value chain because the underwriters had more or less abdicated responsibility, over a long period of time before this. And I think the companies that have done well over the last decade or so are companies that have done the analysis, have come to understand the value chain, and have come to carry out a number of activities that have enabled them to get an increasing share of that value chain. And they've done this through a number of ways, through innovation, product innovation, service innovation, expansion of distribution channels, and diversifying distribution away from a single distribution channel into multi-channels, whether you're talking about increasing their own footprint through their own branches, bank, insurance, electronic, etc., etc. And they have also learned to create value, unique value, to the customers, and therefore have differentiated themselves in many ways. So if we look at the top 10 in terms of size, market share 11 years ago, completely different, today from the leaders, in the market. And you could almost analyze each company and trace their trajectory. Industry has grown at 17%, for example, on the top line over the last decade, I said. But, a company like ours, Mansard, we have grown at 3 times, that growth rate. We've come from number 97 in 2003 to 3rd, 4th position, at the end of last year. And it's the same service. Essentially, it's very similar products, but it's a different set of, activities, different set of value proposition, I think, that probably would have made a difference. And if you look at the absolute leaders, some of the companies you mentioned just now, you would also see that they have transformed completely from the way they were 10, 11 years ago. And I think it takes me back to the very first point. It's leadership. It's understanding where you are now and where you really want to be, 10 years down the line.